I had noticed a small pea-sized lump sort of right on the side of my breast. And, I didn't think too much of it at the time. I thought I should mention something to my family doctor, though. So when I went into his office, I was there for something else, a prescription refill. And I said to him, that I have this, small little lump. And he immediately kind of just dismissed it, like just sort of his hand on the door, ready to leave, saying, you have no family history, you're young. I just wouldn't be too concerned about it. It stayed like that, just like a small, like little pea under the skin for several months. And it wasn't until about September, when we were on a family trip, that it started to rapidly grow. And I called my family doctor's office, and he said the cancer doesn't grow like that, and not to worry about it, but it was just a cyst. So I gave it a day or two, still on vacation, and called and said, well, I'd really like to get this looked at, what's the next step? Maybe another 3 weeks later, I went back to my doctor's office and I said, this thing is getting huge. I want to see a surgeon about getting it removed. So I waited another about 3 weeks to get into the breast clinic, and then they took a look at it, the doctor and the nurse, and they said that, I needed a mammogram. Had the mammogram, and I started to think that things were wrong because everybody else that was in the waiting room with me got sent home and I didn't. They told me that for tumors over 5 centimeters, that protocol is to have a bone scan and a CT scan done right away. So the next day I had those done, and they told me that people with tumors over 5 centimeters need to start on chemotherapy right away, not surgery. I went to the cancer agency, and they said that being November 28th now, that nobody would be able to see me until after Christmas, which was just mind-blowing. You have this giant thing on you that you now know is cancer, and you want it, dealt with immediately. When we called on the Friday, they said that if I could be there Monday, that they would make everything happen for me on the Monday, which was just amazing. We came to Mayo Clinic, and I met with all the doctors, and all in the one day. I went in with Dr. Gray, and we had a long talk about how things were going to be okay, but, that it would be a long, rough year. And he explained to me how he was going to refer me to oncology first, because he agreed about the tumor over 5 centimeters needing chemotherapy first. So I ended up getting referred downstairs to Dr. Donald Northfelt, oncology. We were waiting for, apparently, my biopsy. They had neglected to mention at home that the HER2 test was sent out. So he said, well, until we get the results of those, if you do have HER2 positive breast cancer, we'll take a different approach. So I had gone through 2 rounds of chemo and still had a full head of hair, so turns out all my hair fell. Actually, I got my husband to shave my head on Christmas Eve. After my PET scan, it was falling out in clumps. I always tell everyone now to be your own advocate. Not every doctor knows everything about every type of illness. And, my family doctor, what he said was generally right about how cancer doesn't grow like that, it doesn't grow rapid, but yet there is a type of cancer that does grow like that, and that it does happen. I would just say to get a second opinion, and don't stop until you're happy with the answer and you feel like you really talked to everybody that knows what's best.